to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Men's health is not a game at Limitless Male. It's serious medicine. We're not a West Coast franchise with a one-size-fits-all approach. Every man is different. Some men require more or less testosterone to feel their best. At Limitless Male, we safely monitor your labs and symptoms along the way and adjust your treatment as needed. The only thing cookie cutter about Limitless Male? The incredible results men brag about. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And welcome into another edition of Outside the Box as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars and a very happy Ohio State fan here today, Rocky Russo. Congratulations. I know you enjoyed every bit of that one.
OH. Incredible. I would say the greatest playoff run, right?
Yeah.
In college football history.
An 8 seed winning it. Yeah. In the first year of it.
And who did they knock off, right? Now you look at the final rankings and they beat 2, they beat 3, they beat 5, 6, 9, 10. Like the only team in the top 10, they didn't play Georgia, right? But I don't even.
And they would have beat them too,
yeah.
though, I would say.
They were the best team.
Yeah,
they were always the best team, and that's why, as a fan or as a coach, when your team underperforms, you get frustrated. That's why the call for Ryan Day accountability when they lose 13-10 to a 500 Michigan team, because you're, as a fan or as a coach, you know what that team is capable of. And you saw, as a college football fan, what they were able to do when they played the right way, when they had the right offensive plan, when they used the pass to create the run instead of vice versa. And that was their strength. Your receiver room is full of NFL receivers. Your running back room is full of NFL running backs.
An elite team.
So get them the ball, throw them the ball, and then you can create your running from that. And that's why, when we don't play well, it's like, guys, I know what we're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you've seen over the last 4 games what this team has the ability to do offensively, and we're scoring in bunches, and we're defending really, really well, and we're competing. And so when you don't get that, there's frustration. There's frustration from our fans, and there's frustration from the coaches, because we know, hey, guys, this is where the level that you're capable of playing at. And if you're playing down, then you're not reaching your ability level. And so it was really fun as an Ohio State fan, a lifelong Ohio State fan, to see them put it together. It makes me a little sad. Now I'm less sad because we just won a national championship, but it makes me a little sad to know that the regular season doesn't matter as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that should make any college football, true old school college football fan, feel a little bit sad that, you can lose that game to Michigan and it doesn't matter, as long as, you can sneak in and you've got a team like that, versus the other side of that coin is they're young men. And we've established this protocol forever and ever that you have to be perfect. And if you can't be perfect, then you can't be a champion. And
Now you can.
Now you can.
Yeah.
And, you lose 31-30 on the road at night in Oregon, fine. In other seasons, you're probably still in play, right? 31-30 on the road to the number one team in the country.
Absolutely.
If you win that Michigan game. Then you get your second kick at the can. You win the Big Ten championship. You get in the Final Four, right?
Yep.
Now you lose the Michigan game, and it's like, well, okay, that stinks. Everybody's pretty upset about it.
You want to win it, obviously, because it's the rivalry, the game.
So but you know what Nick Saban said? He goes, we won a championship in whatever year, and he goes, does anybody remember that we lost to Auburn that year? Yeah. Does anybody? No. I do. But does anybody else remember? Because they were like, oh, well, is this tainted because they lost to Michigan? Like, no, it's not tainted.
No.
They got in and they had the most incredible 4-game run that we've ever seen in playoff football.
I don't think you can make a case it's tainted at all. No. Because, again, they proved it right after that.
If anything's tainted, it's the one that was won last year. that one's tainted. So, but this one's not, and it's a clean sweep of 4 incredible teams, really good teams. I mean,
most impressive win, easily the Rose Bowl. Even though that was the second, even though it wasn't the semifinal of the championship, I still say that performance against Oregon is still unbelievable. How good that was.
Well, it's a revenge game, and we have one of those this Friday. I'm really looking forward to that. But it's a revenge game, and obviously, it's I wouldn't call it a home game for Oregon, but it's close. Now, fortunately, Ohio State fans are all over the country, and there's a big fan base in Southern California, but still, Oregon is much closer. Then you go to the Cotton Bowl, where it's definitely a home game.
Oh, yeah.
For the Texas Longhorns, and you take care of business there. And had things worked out differently, it would have been Georgia. Yeah. I think the plan was that it was going to be Georgia, and Ohio State was going to have to play Georgia in Atlanta.
I know what you'll say. You'd say Ohio State would win even if Carson Beck plays and Georgia advances.
No question in my mind.
I think so. I'd agree with you there too. I said it going into this national title. I said I'd be surprised if Notre Dame keeps it close. And hey, they did. They came back. They surprised us all a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I have a lot of respect for. I have obviously a ton of respect for Marcus Freeman, for what he's been able to do to that program in just a short time. And he instilled culture there that hasn't been there in a long time. I was impressed with Riley Leonard. I was impressed with their offensive line. Their offensive line was really good. That first drive was incredible. One of the best drives I've seen all year long. Now, Ohio State went out and matched it a couple times, but the way they did it, just old school 3 yards in a cloud of dust mentality.
Eat up a clock. I love that too. I thought that's the only way they're going to win this game is eat the clock and score every time you have the ball.
Yeah, but there's no way you can keep that up long term. And obviously you saw that, right? You get behind the sticks, and once you're behind the sticks and you got to throw, then that's not exactly their strength. Now, I will give, again, Riley Leonard, he made some throws in the second half. And even late in the third and early fourth quarter, he made some throws. The one he dropped in the bucket to make it a 1-score game was incredible. And then, we call that the march to the penalty box in hockey, but a lot of bad penalties there in the last quarter of that game for Ohio State kind of kept them alive. And, they had a drive killed, and that would have ended the game. And then you get a PI call, you get a defensive holding call, you get a fumble. Like, those things change the dynamic of that game. That game could have been 38-7, no question, and game over. But it was probably a lot more fun for everybody watching it to finish the way that it did.
The 2-point conversion play too was awesome. I love it. Anytime you can get someone else going on a gadget play like that, it's just, I have good memories of those as a Steelers fan with Super Bowl 40 and Randall L to Hines Ward. But I just love seeing any play like that. But I was glad it ended up being exciting because the way the second quarter and the third quarter went, it's like, oh boy, we're slipping here. This is going to be ugly. This is what, 2013 Notre Dame all over again against Alabama, but they made it a game. Credit to them.
They did. And that's Marcus Freeman. That's Marcus Freeman.
I'm glad you brought him up because that was going to be my next question. I saw this argument. We're going to get into the stars. We got a lot to do. General Manager Nick Fabrizio is going to be joining us in a moment. Hunter Anderson and Darian Anderson will be guests. I wanted to ask you this for your take because I'm not sure how I feel on this one. There's been a debate on social media about, has Marcus Freeman accomplished more than Brian Kelly did already? So Brian Kelly got into 2 championships, so to speak, 1 championship game under the BCS, and then the college football playoff, and they lost Alabama both times. He did not ever win a New Year's Six bowl or any national titles. Marcus Freeman wins 3 games in the college football playoff this year, near number 3, but ultimately got as far as Brian Kelly did and lost the national title game. Has he accomplished more already?
No. Until you make another national championship game, you haven't. And it's a different scenario. Like we're talking about these, what used to be termed New Year's Six bowl games, right? They're now just playoff games that are being played under the banner of one of those bowls. And who did Notre Dame play in the first round?
Indiana.
Okay.
They had no business being in it.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that
I don't think they were a top 8 team.
I wouldn't. Okay, maybe they're not a top 8 team, but they're probably a top 12 team. Who did they lose to?
I'll give you that.
Who did they lose to going into that?
Ohio State, right?
Ohio State. And then they lost to Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
They lost, but who else did they play?
Who did Texas play?
Fair.
I mean, Indiana, like you can go with that, but they're still blowing teams out of the water too. It's Big Ten.
I'll take top 12.
You're playing 9 conference games. You're blowing them all out of the water. You only drop 1. And one of the best.
But look at their strength of schedule. That's what I keep going back to.
To me, Indiana was a lock to get in. I don't want to hear about a 3-loss team getting in.
I agree.
When a 1-loss team from the Big Ten played the schedule that they were handed, and who did Texas beat? I don't think they beat a single top 25 team all year. And who did who did Alabama lose to? Vanderbilt. And they got their doors blown off by Oklahoma. Like
you win one of those games, they're probably in.
They are in.
Yeah.
They are in. You win the Vanderbilt game, you write off the Oklahoma game.
Yep.
You win the Oklahoma game, you write off the Vanderbilt game.
Absolutely.
Look what we wrote off Northern Illinois for Notre Dame. Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Right? Not Illinois. Northern Illinois. Right? Who probably played Youngstown State University this year. So, they lost that game and they were clearly in previous years, they're done. Yeah. Their season is over when they lose to Northern Illinois. So that's why I like the fact that this playoff has become what it's become. I don't like the seedings. I'd like to see the seedings based on the rankings more than just on the conference champions.
Give me 6 teams. I think 6 is what it should be.
I'm okay with 8. But then no one gets a bye.
Yeah.
And you just play it down. For me, the one thing I was nervous about yesterday was that Ohio State played the extra game. And Notre Dame didn't have a conference championship game, and they had a bye. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if that's going to be the juice that Notre Dame needs. But, then you talk about revenue, which is a whole separate conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And Notre Dame takes the fat check home because they're not in the conference. And Ohio State has to go and disperse that.
That's what
money
Harrison was bringing up last week. You were saying that you're like, I'm rooting for Ohio State so Nebraska can get some money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, otherwise Notre Dame gets to pocket it all and go. I mean, they don't got that conference share.
Notre Dame's able to defend though, not being in a conference again by being in this point. I think winning it would have solidified it, but I think now they've still got a really strong ground to stand on. We don't need to be in a conference.
Well, but the other thing that happened this year is we found out the conference championships don't really matter.
They don't.
And so what we've done with this playoff is we've diminished the value of the conference championship, and we've diminished the value of at times the regular season, at times the rivalry games.
Yep.
And they're still going to get the fan bases excited, but they're not the be all.
You're right. The national attention all of a sudden next year it'll be at one of the all-time highs, I would argue. Both teams have won titles. You had Michigan last year, now Ohio State this year. Next year, when those two teams meet, the fact that the storylines are just rich all around, it's going to get a lot of
got
coverage.
an $11 million quarterback coming in Ann Arbor.
That's right.
So that'll be interesting. But, the narrative of, Ohio State bought this championship because they spent all this money. Meanwhile, Texas and Oregon spent more money. Notre Dame brought in more transfers from the portal. Okay, we paid some of those seniors to come back.
Hey, that's the game
JT,
now.
You paid Sawyer, you paid Ibuka.
That's the game.
Those guys got paid to come back, and I don't see a problem with that. That's become legal.
Now
whether
that
I
it's
agree
legal,
with it or not is a different story.
Bingo.
But it is legal, and they didn't go buy a bunch of players from other teams. They really didn't.
You're right.
They brought a couple guys in, but so did everybody else. So I think when it's all said and done, the best team won. And it just happened to be the Buckeyes this year.
I'm with you, though, that it's okay now. You can buy players, even if, like you said, Ohio State really didn't get that many. I'm okay with it because it's legal. It's an open playing field, and nothing is hush-hush like it was before.
Well, and I mean, now that it's legal, there's a lot of guys that aren't getting paid by some of the teams down south.
Yeah.
And they're willing to go to other places.
Very true.
So
real quickly, before we welcome on the general manager of the Lincoln Stars, Nick Fabrizio, on the line, Baseball Hall of Fame. I know you and I are big baseball guys. So here's who got in: Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner. Ichiro was the second player to be a vote away from being unanimous.
Ichiro should have been unanimous.
He should have been. He was 99.7 ballots. I couldn't believe that. Him and Jeter, the only two to be one vote away. Still, Mariano Rivera is the only one ever. I thought that was pretty cool. I think Carlos Beltran probably should have been, and he'll get in next year, though, I would think. He's at 70%.
So I'm really happy CC Sabathia gets in. I actually watched him pitch in Mahoning Valley for the Scrappers.
Wow.
Single A short season. He was on a rehab stint, and
nice.
My buddy's dad worked for the newspaper, got us the four seats right behind the dish.
Ooh.
It was an unbelievable experience. I'll never forget that. Billy Wagner makes total sense.
Absolutely.
I can't wait until we recognize that the Hall of Fame is about history, and that the good and the bad of the history of baseball needs to be included in that, and the fact that Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa essentially saved baseball, and no one seemed to have a problem with that. Barry Bonds was a no-brainer Hall of Famer before he ever did anything. Same thing with Roger Clemens, Alex Rodriguez. Like, those guys are a huge part of history. Now, there's a guy on this list that's probably never going to get in.
Who'd you have?
But I think when I think of shortstops,
Jimmy Rollins?
No.
Ooh, who were you thinking?
Omar Vizquel.
See, he has the issues with that domestic violence incident a few years ago. That's hurting people in the short term. I think that,
again,
yeah, we're not talking about off the field.
Not,
we're on the field.
Which is why Pete Rose should be in, which is why there's other guys that need to be in. And
Don Mattingly should be in.
You know,
I don't know how he's
how's
not
Kurt
in.
Schilling not in? Oh, because we don't like his politics, right?
Yep.
These writers who use their own personal issues. Now, I don't agree with anything that, if Omar Vizquel got arrested, that's awful, and he should have to deal with the repercussions of that.
This isn't heaven.
But at the end of the day, like, watching that guy when I was younger, he was one of the most incredible defensive,
probably the greatest.
Him or Ozzie Smith, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he was incredible defensively, but he could hit. He didn't have a ton of power, but he could hit. He could steal bases. He was a catalyst on those teams.
Several different teams
in the mid 90s,
especially
right?
Cleveland.
Yeah, they were unbelievable. And so he's a guy I've always rooted for. I'd love to see Manny Ramirez get in just because I'd love to hear his speech. But there's
I met him last summer. He's a really cool guy.
He's unbelievable. Andrew Jones, Chase Utley.
Andrew Jones
Andy
might be
Pettit.
the best defensive center fielder. He's up there as well. He should be in. Andy Pettit, one of the best postseason pitchers ever. So I'm with you. And if anyone who's been there, you know this. The Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's a museum. It's not heaven. It's a museum. People who are part of the story should be in.
Put Shoeless Joe Jackson in. Come on,
I agree.
Let's go.
I agree.
Let's bring Nick Fabrizio, general manager of the Lincoln
Took the words
Stars.
out of my mouth. Nick Fabrizio joining us on the line, GM for the Stars. Nick, we are happy to have you along here with us. We're going to talk a little Lincoln Stars, but did you watch the national title game last night? Were you happy with the result?
Nick, you got to unmute yourself there if you can hear me.
It's all right. It's his first time on the show.
Sorry about that. Good start, right?
That's all right. That's all right. Did you watch the national title game last night? Did you like the result?
I did. I tuned in for a little bit of it. I was impartial with the result.
See, the right answer is our head coach is a diehard Buckeye fan, and so I wanted him to win. And
the Lincoln Stars are
one
one team. We should all want good things for each other,
if
right?
the Chicago White Sox were playing in the World Series, I would want to cheer for the Chicago White Sox because I know that Nick is a diehard White Sox fan that's going through some really hard White Sox times these days. So I would want to see the White Sox win, so Nick got to enjoy that.
Well, Nick, we're happy to have you on the line. Let's talk a little about the Lincoln Stars right now, playing some of their best hockey of the season. 32 goals in the last 4 games. You've got to be loving the way this group is gelling right now. A couple key additions who you and Rocky have brought aboard, Bruno Egan and Hunter Anderson, have certainly been huge contributors lately, haven't they?
You got yourself muted there again, Nick.
Well, how's that keep happening? So, Joel, both those guys have been welcome additions. Both have had a lot of success in their short time with us. So definitely seem to be adding to what we have going right now. Speaking
of adding with where we're going right now, this is a question, Rocky, you and I always talk about around this time of the year. Trade deadline is about a month away right now. We've made some moves already. What do we like about this group the most and it stands out right now? Is this something that we're looking to add to it, or is it, hey, we've kind of got the group in place. If something pops up, maybe we take it?
From my perspective, I think that, Nick and I spend a lot of time having these conversations, and we felt like the additions that we made with Bruno and with Hunter were trade deadline type acquisitions.
Absolutely.
And, when we were discussing it, Nick's biggest thing was, hey man, the longer we get these guys, the better, right? So if we can pull these deals off early and we get them for the better part of half the season, or maybe longer, probably longer with one or both of those guys, then you've hit the jackpot, because those guys get to spend more time here in Lincoln, and they don't have to get acclimated to systems with 12 games left in the regular season. They get to spend the better part of 35 games getting to know what we like to do here, and really getting involved in the details of Lincoln Stars hockey.
Absolutely. Nick, what's some stuff you've liked about just those two guys and what they've brought to this team and as forwards?
Well, am I on mute this time?
You're good this time.
Okay. I think it's been exciting to see Hunter in a very, very small sample size, just kind of gelling on the line he's on and producing at the rate he is. He definitely brings something that I didn't even know we were missing, but you can see it now, and it looks pretty good out there.
I mean, the chemistry between him and Daniel Schlane is as advertised.
Yeah, when Nick finalized the trade, Schlaner was really excited. And,
sure.
And we had the conversation. I spoke to Schlaner because they played together at Shattuck, and I was like, hey, tell me about this kid. He's like, he loves hockey, he works hard, he's a great teammate, pretty down to earth kid, which he is. His dad's an LA fire department member, and comes from pretty humble background, and he's been a great addition, and Bruno has gotten comfortable and found his stride, and he's obviously making a massive impact game in and game out, and so both of those additions were huge for us.
Absolutely. I mean, just the immediate impact they've had. Hunter Anderson had points in each of his first 3 games with the Stars. His work with Daniel Schlane's been phenomenal. Bruno Egan, like we said, missed a couple games, right back on the board. 2 goals for him on Friday. I mean, it's just been, you said it, Rocky, a while back. We needed to replace a bit of a scoring punch we'd lost in the fall at one point, and those guys have certainly provided that for us. Nick, when you look at this group right now, with these last 4 games, the goals plenty, what has really stood out for you with how this group has come together in recent weeks?
Well, I think we're right back to close to where we were early in the season. We got off to a hot start, and I think we're close to that level right now. We have some time until the trade deadline comes around, and always looking to get better. But yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty short amount of time that we've had this particular group with those 2 additions together. So we got a lot of hockey to be played. So
absolutely, that starts Friday. Heading to Des Moines, as you mentioned a moment ago, Rocky. Kind of that revenge game. The last time that we lost was against Des Moines a couple of weeks ago. This ought to be a fun matchup, because I was impressed with the atmosphere there. We talked about how they filled it up pretty good. Smaller arena than what Buccaneer Arena is, but that's gonna be a tough place to play coming this week, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. They play hard. There's no question about that. And for us, I didn't think we played our best hockey that game, and that was partly their doing and partly our doing. But we're competing really hard right now, and obviously everybody's talking about the results and the 30 whatever goals in the last 4 games, and all that's great. And I told you in the past that those things ebb and flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we've scored 8 a game for the last 4, we had 1 the game before that. So
that's right.
You've got to be able to balance that and recognize you're not going to score 8 a game, but you can create those chances by doing things the right way, by having details and compete and structure, and that's what's enabled us to have the success we've had in the last couple weekends.
And Nick, last question for you before we go to the break. Give me a guy who's really stood out for you as maybe an unheralded hero on this team so far. Rocky and I were talking about these, I think it was after Saturday or before Saturday's game. We're saying there's a lot of guys who maybe aren't getting on the score sheet right now, but have been a big part of our success.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question, especially given the recent explosion of offense, so to speak. But I would say if I had to pick one, I'd say Mr. Prowse. He's just been a really steady player this season that's kind of emerged, and he's had a lot of success, and it's kind of cool to be able to see that.
And Rocky, it says so much when you have those nights where, hey, we're going to give Jan a blow here, and you can put in William Prowse, you're going to be just as confident you're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, Prouser, I've spoken pretty in depth about what I think of Prouser, and I think that's a perfect choice by Nick. And you can make the argument of guys like Aiden Jans or guys like Kate Kohansky, Darian Anderson, Michael Sandrick has 2-1 last weekend. Like, when you're scoring a lot of goals, when I was in Amarillo, every time we scored, they played a song called Big Balls in Cowtown by George Strait. And
a natural pick.
That was so fun to be able to feel that energy in the building after we scored. And now here, we score in the ice box, and the energy is incredible, and the fans are excited, the players are excited, and I feel like old school Lincoln Stars hockey is back. And if you're listening to this and you haven't checked out the Stars in the last few years, come out to a game. I can assure you that you won't be disappointed. The environment, the in-game entertainment, the hockey that we're playing is all fantastic.
Next opportunity is Saturday. A good big one too, with Omaha coming into town. 2,000 tickets already sold. Let's see if we can sell this place out.
Sell it out. I don't think we had one last year.
We were close. That one game
we
in February against Omaha, but hoping maybe one of these, we'll get them a couple times at home. I know the fans always love those ones. So get your tickets Saturday at LincolnStars.com. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to welcome on two more guests, Darian Anderson and Hunter Anderson. Not related, but they are staying in the same billet house. They'll be joining us in a moment. Nick, thank you for joining us on the line, and hey, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Nick.
Absolutely. That was Nick Fabrizio, general manager of the Stars, Rocky Russo, the head coach. I'm Joel Norman. We'll be back with more in a moment here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and is currently searching for journeyman plumbers to join their team. Experience is preferred, but not required for all applicants. When you join the team at Davis Plumbing, you'll receive full benefits package with paid time off. Join a small local business doing big things in Lincoln and surrounding areas. Apply today by calling 402-525-6922 or find them on social media. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break. What is there? I was just waiting. And then the lady appeared, and I just tried to make a joke. I said, I thought everything was free today. And she said, if you take anything out of here, we will follow you home. I'm like, I was kidding. I'm not taking anything.
You're on the list, buddy.
Yeah.
You're on the list
I
now.
will follow you home.
I've had it happen a couple times or something.
People followed you.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fear's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fear's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fear's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again here on 93.7 The Ticket as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey after an exciting weekend for the Stars. Back-to-back fun weekends. All Hunter Anderson is known with the Lincoln Stars. So we're going to score a lot of goals, and we're going to win hockey games. Looking to continue that here this weekend. Hunter Anderson to my right. Further to my right, Darian Anderson joining us. No relation, but in the same billet house. Guys, how did that – when you found that out, you're like, what are the odds? Same last name, and we're staying in the same billet house.
Yeah, I mean Rocky pretty much said no one in his house had a car, so they wanted to move me in there, and it worked out. I mean, same last names, gets mixed up in the house a little bit, but
there you go.
I don't know. Bill's got to get used to it.
Absolutely. Fans can get used to seeing them on its different numbers. Darian's been 19 all year. Hunter's been 14. You also have the H. Anderson on the back, just to make sure there's no further communication there. But, Hunter, how's it been for you being here in Lincoln? It's only been a couple of weeks, but like we said, some fun games to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, the boys taking me in good, and obviously playing in the ice box. It's not the biggest rink, but it's really electric in there, and it's a pretty fun place to play so far.
And we talked about it's going to be a fun one this Saturday with the Omaha Lancers coming to town. Hope to see you at the ice box. Only the second time this year Omaha's been here, so make sure to come out to that one. Tickets are going fast. You can still get them at lincolnstars.com. Darian, I'll start with you about this past weekend. Fun wins for us, and you had a huge goal on Saturday, probably your biggest goal that you've had. And you had a few big ones this year, but that one was quite the exciting one. It was one where it was a net front scramble. I mean, we can call it even more than that. How many bodies were flying in the crease? You found the loose puck, tipped it home. And my favorite part of that game was just the crowd's reaction when the overhead camera was being shown and everyone sees the puck go over the line. You guys, the fans, everyone's pointing up like, hey, wait a sec. We can't miss this. But that had to be a fun moment for you once they realized, hey, this is going to get a hold as a goal.
Yeah, it was a great moment. I didn't think I put it in at first because I didn't really get a good look at it. But when they showed it on the overhead view, it was obvious that it went in. So it was pretty exciting.
I was going to say, initially, you didn't celebrate. But once you guys saw that overhead, I saw everyone kind of huddling around you. I mean, that's got to be a cool feeling when you're like, oh, hey, that did go in.
Yeah, I know. Everyone, I think Gio was the first one I saw. He just gave me a hug from behind. It was a good moment. Yeah.
Fun moment after I think you were out of the lineup. Yeah, you were out on Friday, right back in Saturday and making an important impact there. That had to be something where anytime you're out of the lineup, you're really fired up the next time you're in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's always kind of tough not being in the lineup, but everyone has a different role. So you just got to play it, and it's going to change in the future. So just got to be patient and work your hardest.
Absolutely. And Hunter, for you, mentioned points in each of your first 3 games with the Stars, back with a familiar face in Daniel Schlane. Tell fans about the connection you have with him and your history playing together, because you at least knew there was going to be one guy you knew on this team when you joined the Stars 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, Dan and I, we've been buddies the last, 5 years now. Went to Shag St. Mary's for 3 years together and built a little bit of a connection there, especially in the power play at school. And, we've thankfully able to bring that here in the USHL. So fun playing with him and just fun hanging out with him off the ice too. So it's good to be with him again.
The stats you guys had while playing together are like video game numbers. You 2 years ago with Shattuck, you were averaging almost 2 points per game while playing with him. I mean, that's got to be just an incredible feeling on your part, just being like, hey, I'm going to be on the ice with this guy and we've got a chance to do something special. And like you said, now also doing that in the USHL.
Yeah, I mean, coming to Lincoln, we're one of the best teams in the league, one of, the teams to beat, I'd say. So I'd say whatever, him and I can do to help the team win, we're going to do it and just, keep it up for the rest of the season. And yeah.
You're a USHL veteran. You've been with 4 different organizations right now. You just came over from Sioux Falls. They were playing pretty well. So at the time, we're ahead of the Stars. The standings were kind of a neck and neck the last month or so. When you realized you were going to Lincoln, you were also going to be with another contender. Tell me, what was your excitement like?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to play hockey in, May and June. You see the NHL players, and I just feel like, with this team, I think we have a really good chance. And, being only playing 4 games, I think this is the team to do it. And it's been pretty fun playing here so far. And, I'm really excited what the future holds.
Darian, for you, your first year in the USHL, you were playing up in Canada, correct? Before this, what's this been like being in the USHL this first season?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's a lot faster than what I've been used to, and a lot of older players, and kind of just being a rookie is kind of tough, but everyone goes through it.
How do you feel like your game has evolved from middle of September until now here in late January?
I think a lot of little attributes like my speed, strength, my skill, my shot. I think just learning to be more of a team player, kind of. That's about it.
How has your training maybe changed? I always wonder about that for guys going from one league to another like this.
Yeah, it's a lot more organized here, I'd say. It was still good where I played last year, but I mean, the training's still pretty much the same. It's training. Yeah.
What about for you, Hunter, a guy who's been in the league, you know what you have to do year to year? What are some things maybe at the start of a season or in the middle of a season you kind of got to remind yourself hey, maybe today's a big cardio day or today I've got to do some lifting?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just trying to get a little better every day, just building off every week, and yeah, I mean, last year, I was on a team that got out in the first round of the playoffs and it sucked. And, I just want to do everything I can to just, play longer than that.
I want to get to the Clark Cup, obviously, and there's a lot of reason to believe with this group so far. We mentioned 32 goals for the Lincoln Stars over this 4-game win streak. And, guys, a big reason why we've been able to score has been these first periods. I mean, I think it's 17-2. Yeah, 17-1, actually, that we're outscoring opponents over the last 4 games. Hot starts have not been an issue, have they, Darian?
No, definitely not. Yeah, we're ready to go every single game. So, yeah.
I felt like there were some games early in the season where maybe it was a carryover from a previous game, but there's the highs of that one. It took a little bit more to get going. I wondered if that was going to be an issue this weekend against Muskegon because it's, you look back against USA and you score 19 goals in 2 games and you're wondering, okay, hey, are things going to change next weekend because we know it's a different opponent? But you guys were ready to go in those first periods. What was the messaging just among you guys and even maybe from the coaching staff to you guys to really fuel these hot starts?
Yeah, maybe just like just keep working hard and like staying consistent. Maybe not like looking at NTDP and seeing like a weaker opponent and maybe taking it easy on them, and then like going into this weekend or the past one, I mean, like seeing a top team in the Eastern Conference, like just like being more consistent, I guess.
And Hunter, one of the things after Friday's win, you guys won pretty capably in that game, 6-2, if I'm remembering correctly. The next night you win 7-4 or 7-3, excuse me, and a little bit tighter of a game for a while till the third period. The big message that I was told, at least after that one, a couple guys were saying, coaching staff was saying, it was Friday was really good to start. We kind of took our foot off the gas over the final 2 periods. I think we can seriously say Saturday was a complete 60-minute effort.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, I mean, obviously you got to turn the page from the night before. Whatever happened. And I just feel like, obviously we didn't play full 60 the first game. And I think the whole message was, we got to play consistent in all 3 periods. And, we got the result.
That second period was certainly exciting, though. This past Saturday, we mentioned your goal, Darren, that put the Stars back in the lead for good, but special teams were very much a factor this weekend. Was that something for you guys, whether it was the PK or the power play? You were thinking it's like, hey, one way or another, this has a chance to be a momentum shifter. You feel that way, Hunter?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And, you're going to get in games like that where the ref's going to call everything he sees, So I just feel like it's a special teams match, and if you can take advantage of that, clearly won us the hockey game in that game. So we were fortunate with that.
And Darian, we're heading to Des Moines on Friday, where we went a few weeks ago. That's the last time we lost, the beginning of the calendar year. 2025 started out with back-to-back losses. But now you head back to Des Moines. Is it exciting and a chance to get to go up against the Buccaneers again this quickly after that loss? Because that was, as low scoring as it was, that was a great game, but it was a tough loss to swallow, especially with how well we've been able to score since then when we lost 2-1.
Yeah, it was a tough loss. I mean, we definitely all we want to get our revenge on them, definitely, and I think it's going to be a different outcome.
Looking ahead after that, and then Omaha on Saturday, we mentioned this before. Lincoln Omaha is just different. What have you seen about that rivalry so far? Even if the records are a little different, Darian. I mean, those are fun games to be part of, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they are fun. I think all our fans, they probably don't like their fans. I think it's more like fan rivalry, to be honest. Like I don't think it's like that bad on the ice. So, but it's fun to play in those games. Yeah.
Let me ask you about that then. The guy, first season with the Stars, when you look at that one opponent, you go, boy, hey, that to me, that is our rival. When we play them, that's been tight. Who would you maybe say that is for the 2024-25 Lincoln Stars?
I'd say Fargo maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're 1-3 versus them. Like we didn't play our best hockey when we played them. I think we could definitely, I think we're the better team, and we're going to be playing them, I think, pretty soon.
About a month, yeah.
I'd say them. Yeah, Fargo.
That's a good opponent. I like that pick, too, because we saw when they came here, the one night we were a little bit off, the next night bounced back. The 2 games up there were a little bit tough, but, I mean, that's, last few years, Lincoln and Fargo have been battling a fair amount, so that'll be a lot of fun. I know I always love to ask this of guys who are new to the team who have played in the league before. What are spots in the league you haven't played at this point? We talked about, 4th team in the league. You've been to a lot of different barns over the course of your USHL career.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't been to Cedar Rapids, and I know we're going up there, I think, next weekend.
Yep.
And then I haven't been to Green Bay, and I haven't been to Youngstown. So I don't think we'll be going back there anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just Cedar Rapids. I'll be able to check off my bucket list. But
yeah, but that's a big crazy series coming up because we go Cedar Rapids Friday, Dubuque Saturday, Sioux City on Sunday. That's gonna be a test for this group. Not to look ahead too much, guys, but I mean, we've had a lot of home games, so it'll be good to get on the road. But that's certainly going to prevent a challenge in a lot of ways, isn't it, Darren?
Yeah, especially in like a 3-3 in 3 different cities too. So I think we're up to the task, though.
Hunter, on a weekend like that, at 3-3, what do you do to really stay fresh? Because there's no doubt about it. By the time that third game rolls around, it's like, hey, you've got to find another gear you don't know if you have.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, Sioux City is also in a 3-3, so they'll be in the same situation. They're playing Sioux Falls, top of our division right now. So I feel like they probably might have a harder weekend than we will. But I feel like after the first game, we just got to turn the page and just focus on the next opponent and just worry about the present moment, I'd say.
Right now, focusing on this weekend, Des Moines on Friday on the road, and then again, as we mentioned, Omaha on Saturday at the Icebox. Tickets again available at LincolnStars.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more to wrap things up. It's Outside the Box, chatting Lincoln Stars hockey on 93.7 The Ticket.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, AmeriCorps program serving with the RISE program helps students on probation for truancy gain skills to improve both their attendance and performance in school. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny and breezy. Cold this morning, but warming up to around 25 this afternoon. Tonight, a slight chance of snow, otherwise mainly cloudy and low near 21. And tomorrow, a chance of snow, otherwise mainly cloudy with the high near 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays. Games of bowling, shoe rental, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Hey guys, this is Lexi Rodriguez, former Husker and now League One volleyball athlete. League One Volleyball is bringing the action to Omaha with our first serve on January 24th, 7 p.m. at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Ralston. Witness history in the making as we take on Love Madison in our first ever home match. Visit lovboma.com for tickets. First serve January 24th. Be there when it all begins. That's lovboma.com for tickets to watch Love Omaha Volleyball. Go Big Red and go Big Green.
Having diabetes doesn't have to ruin your new year. Join a Nebraska-supported program like Living Well with Diabetes. You'll learn how to manage your symptoms, feel more confident, and reduce stress about your diagnosis. Search Nebraska Living Well with Diabetes and click on the DHHS Healthy Living Programs page to learn more. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock,
A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Last segment of Outside the Box here this week as we continue chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket. Joel Norman alongside Darian Anderson and Hunter Anderson as the Stars look to add to their winning streak this weekend. They've won 4 in a row. Friday night, they're on the road at Des Moines. Saturday, welcoming the Omaha Lancers to the Icebox. And really don't need to say much more there with the Stars-Lancers matchup. I mentioned the rivalry a little bit briefly with you, Darian, but Hunter, I'll ask it for you. You know, for someone who hasn't been in one of those games before, you've probably heard a little bit just about the excitement the crowd really brings. What are you looking forward to the most about that matchup on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I assume they're going to come out hard and heavy. You know, obviously you can't really look at where they are in the standings because I feel like anyone could win any given night in this league. So you just got to treat it like it's any other game.
Darren, we've seen that this year, that almost regardless of the opponent, like we just mentioned with Des Moines a couple of weeks ago, you don't necessarily know on a given night what kind of effort you're going to get from your opponent. So it's almost like, and you guys have done such a good job of that over the last month of just, you cannot underestimate any opponent, can you?
No, you can't. I mean, yeah, I think everyone probably thought we were going to beat Des Moines and they beat us, but yeah, really can't.
For you guys heading into this one, there's the excitement of winning. You're enjoying this, but there's also that hunger to add to this. I would certainly imagine with how we've been playing and being like, okay, it's, you know, let's do this on the road now. What's the biggest challenge with the momentum right now, Hunter, where you're going on the road, you're playing well. There is that change of pace with playing a road game, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to, you know, take what we've been, what made us successful the last 2 weeks and, you know, try to implement that in our game, you know, this weekend. And I just feel like work on what we need to do better and have a good, you know, next few days of prep and practice. And then, yeah, I'm taking it into this weekend.
Darren, do you like these stretches where, you know, you've had a lot of home games the last 2 weeks? We've had this nice routine to get into, but do you like when you have a week like this where it's almost a more traditional setup where it's a home game one night or a road game the other, where it kind of changes, it forces you to change up your habits a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's kind of more like pro style, but yeah, you got to like really take care of your body, learn to take care of your body, but yeah, I like it.
What about you, Hunter? Do you like the weekends maybe where you play the same team twice, or do you like these where you get 2 different opponents?
Yeah, I mean, I like a little mini series just in case you lose them, you get another shot at them. But yeah, I mean, obviously you got to, you know, adjust to the schedule and you just got to be ready to play any given night. So
we talked about a little bit off air about your billet parents a little bit. Darren, you've been with them all year. You guys know the impact that billets have, and you have to have those to be a successful junior hockey team, no matter what. What have you enjoyed about your host family this year, Darren?
Yeah, I mean, they're really good people. They're probably watching now. I know you mentioned their banana bread. It's pretty
gosh.
good.
Lisa's banana bread is to write home about for anyone who hasn't had it.
Yeah, it's unreal. Yeah, I think we're really fortunate to have ours. We have probably one of the better ones in the league. So, yeah.
Hunter, you've had a limited time with them, obviously, but I imagine things been good for you with them as well, too.
Yeah, I mean, they cook great food, and you know they make so much, so you have leftovers the next day. So it's pretty nice.
What for you guys on a game day? Let's say a home game day where it's a little more stable. What's the routine like? What kind of meal do you like to have before the game once you get back from practice in the morning? I'll start with you, Darren.
Yeah, I'd say right after our morning skate, we'll go to Bagels and Joe. But I'd say pregame meal probably like rice and chicken or pasta and chicken.
Well, you, Hunter, same thing?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously go to Bagels, and then I like to go to the gym and, you know, hit the ice bath a little bit. Makes my legs feel lighter for the game and get a little light stretch in. And I try not to be too picky about what I eat before the game, but, you know, got to get enough fuel, you know, to perform.
Ice baths even on days like today where we're in the negatives to start the day?
No, not today, but, probably tomorrow night for
Fair
sure.
enough.
But no, not too cold today.
Yeah, way too cool. You want the ice bath, just go outside for a couple hours, right? Maybe just without a winter coat or so. But looking forward to this weekend, guys. This is going to be fun. Des Moines, like you said, we got a little revenge on our mind after a couple of weeks ago. And then at home with the Bucs on Saturday. Nothing better. Go get 4 points this weekend. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Darian Anderson and Hunter Anderson joining us. I'm Joel Norman. That's been this week's edition of Outside the Box. We'll be back next Tuesday, but we hope to see you on Saturday night at the Icebox, 6:05 puck drop. This has been Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.